She's the avant-garde pop queen. I love her music so much. But this sound...
Can you play that line without the track? Yeah.
Listen to me as I speak. When you study other human beings, and we all do, one of the things you will notice is that the bright ones seem to be aware of things. They catch on. They're clever. And a huge part of that is they pick up on patterns. Pattern recognition is essential to navigating life and overcoming the challenges it presents. Hey, I noticed every time we eat the mushrooms with the dots on it, we die. That's a pattern, and we should probably stop doing that. Brilliant! One of the patterns that has arisen, which is a slap in the face to, and brace yourself, I'm about to just straight up say it, white people. So yes, we are doing a fellow white people video, which means that this is an illegal assembly. This is a taboo that I'm performing before your very eyes. I am addressing white human beings collectively as a group. Now, the situations are different when it comes to the diaspora of white human beings. If you're talking about the Australian context, Canada, America, or the UK, each individual nation, the French, the Germans, the Scandinavians, they have their own specific issue with white identity and with the incursion of non-whites and the antagonism from non-whites towards whites. So they're all failing in their own individual ways. Today, I want to talk about the UK and the BBC. They have done another microaggression, and I would suggest that it is now an accumulation of microaggressions, making it macro. So the final straw that broke the camel's back was just a piece of straw, but it was sitting on top of a mountain of other pieces of straw, and therefore it became an unbearable burden. This one, it is symbolic, it is culturally significant, it is yet another undermining of white human beings and white identity and white pride, what I call white dignity. It's almost challenging you to resist. It's saying, I fucking dare you to push back on this. And if you do, we're going to double down. And let me back up. If you have an issue with my undermining of white human beings and my disrespecting of white human beings, if you take issue with that, I will double down and disrespect you again and shit on you again for being white and caring. We're talking about The Lord of the Flies. Lord of the Flies is a book that has been enshrined in our culture for generations. Required reading for my generation. I don't know about yours. You might be just fapping to Pokemon or whatever. We had to read this book. Okay, it is a noteworthy and powerful book. Not too long. Touches on some themes. It's a bunch of dudes on an island long before Epstein. Written in the early 50s by a British man, William Golding, about a bunch of British schoolboys who are stranded on an island. There is a plane crash, the adults are dying or dead, and it's what happens to boys who have to run shit on an island.
We're having a meeting. Don't join in. We're on an island and there's no people here. Let's allocate jobs. Yes, I'd like to be chief.
There's more little ones than I remember when we planned.
We need to think about food and shelters. We need to help each other and we need to be good campmates. We're going to hunt pigs and get meat for everybody.
Don't you feel it, Jack? When you're in the forest, when you're on your own.
I am a hunter, you're the chief. You're a failure. I don't want this. I never wanted this.
Okay. I once had a conversation with Nick Fuentes about something similar where I said, if you and I were stranded on an island, do you think it would be a good idea for us to all have guns, nobody to have guns, or maybe we elect one guy to have the gun? And Nick's response was, I want all the guns. So he went the Jack route and sort of bitched out because he's a small, fearful man. I get it. I would probably drop a boulder on him. Day 2. So, but there's that. It looks at the darkness within men, our proximity to savagery, our tendencies to tribe up, to become hysterical with fear and or rage. It looks at adolescent boys and how fucked up they are. So there's essentially a Beavis and Butthead attitude that is permeating dudes of this age. They are testing the boundaries of their own identity. Who am I? What am I? Can I do stuff? Let's break stuff. Look, I have a penis. What do I do with it? I don't know. Let's jump and kill and wow. Okay, there's a reason why we don't let 12 and 13-year-old boys run society. And this book kind of explains that. I don't know how familiar you are with the book, but I want to talk about the iterations we have seen of it. In terms of how it was made into movies. There was an original movie, book came out in 54. There was a movie that came out, I think, 63. It was in black and white. It's kind of sketch. I was looking at it. It's up online. You can check it out. It's entirely white actors, which makes sense because, Britain was 99% white. So the time the book was written, 99% white was Britain, especially in a private boarding school. You're talking about rich British kids. So the chance that you'd have a non-white person in there is non-existent, which is why there are none featured in that movie. So it's a historically accurate telling of a British story written by a British man about British people. So it is ours. And to be very clear and underline the point, it does matter who is involved. It's not just a story. So you could do Lord of the Flies with Asians, you could do that. We could do Squid Game with strictly white people. It would still be Squid Game, kind of, but it is a Korean thing. It is a Korean thing. It was written by Koreans with Koreans in mind. It was originally made by Koreans. If we just did Squid Game with a bunch of blonde-haired people, that would be eliminating the who from the entire equation and the soul. You're stripping the soul from the story. And also you're downplaying the biological reality of race to a comical degree. So let's do Lord of the Flies, but just with flies. Forget humans, let's just swap it out with flies. It'll be animated, amazing. So you can strip a story and talk about the merit of a story based on the story, the characters, the dialogue, the plot, etc. But don't for a second think that the people involved, the biological human beings involved in the creation, the inspiration, the execution, and the historical reality of these stories doesn't matter. It absolutely matters. If you're going to tell a story about the invasion of Normandy on D-Day, please understand that 99% of those guys were white. And if you fucking for a second try to recast that as anything but that, that is a massive slap in the face. That is a 10-ton piece of straw that you're putting on a camel's back. So the 1960s version had a bunch of white actors. It was a little bit sus. I fast forwarded to a part near the end and I'm just looking at little boy ass going, can we get a Epstein party of one? What is this? Was that necessary? Why am I looking at that? But okay, that's up on YouTube. I guess, the clothing optional, whatever. And then they did a remake in 1990 where you have the two main characters. And in the 1991, it was, I guess, a more modernized version. In fact, I don't even think they were British. And so they had a couple black actors in the mix, which is, okay, they made that artistic choice, we get it. But notably, they didn't race swap the leads. And the leads are Ralph and Jack are the two leaders of the two separate tribes. They are in conflict with each other. Jack is a problem. Jack is a troublemaker. Jack is described by the original author as having red hair and freckles. He's like Draco Malfoy meets King Joffrey from Game of Thrones.
For hunters, you guys want to have a little fun. We've got to work together. We've got to take care of ourselves. What's that supposed to mean? What it means, Colonel, is that if you know what's good for you, you'll stop trying to run everything. Come on, hunters!
More fear than they ever dreamed.
There's something loose on this island.
We did everything just the way grown-ups would have. Kill it! Why didn't it work?
Lord of the Flies.
So you're talking about a punk-ass little blonde-haired douche who thinks he's hot shit and he's just going to throw his weight around and he's a problem. All right, the guy's a punk. But whatever, he wants to be a man, he wants to play that part, and he wants to take power. He wants to take it at your expense. And then you have Ralph. And Ralph is the good guy. Ralph is the measured, reasonable, compassionate, sensible, sane, civilized dude. So Jack represents savagery and impulsivity and violence. He is a dumb shit who is emotional, who is prideful, and who is inevitably going to lead to the downfall of society. Ralph is this beacon of hope. Ralph is a good man. He's also strong. He has good character. He is our role model. Ralph is the guy that you look to and say, that's how to be. Ralph is the light. Jack is a prick. And then you have Piggy, who just wears glasses and is chubby and fat and gets picked on. They just made a new version of this. It is supposed to be true to the book, so it's supposed to be in the 50s. They made some casting choices in this. Now, it's the BBC putting it out there, and they have a political agenda. They have an audience, a modern audience, so I don't care if it's a period piece. You got modern considerations to take into account. This is not some documentary about boys on a fictional island. And so they do add some black characters into the cast, which, makes no sense. It historically would not have happened, but they want to throw them a bone. Come on, the blacks. The blacks are 4% of the UK, so, can we give them a couple? It makes no sense for them to have been in this boarding school. Would not have happened, did not happen, was not the author's vision at all. But okay, what is it? Who does it harm? Let them have it, dude. Let them have it. Okay, we'll let you have it. We're a little bit on edge here because you have taken from us our beloved Little Mermaid, who is iconic and essential to our white identity. A redheaded character who you turned into a black girl with red hair. Could you please just give her an afro? If we're gonna go this route, don't insult us by keeping the red hair. What the fuck? Whatever. You've taken Tinkerbell, you've taken the Green Fairy, you've taken the Fairy Godmother, you took Gaston, you've taken all of the voice actors of The Lion King. I mean, they snatched Cleopatra. There's a report now that Joan of Arc is gonna be played by a black? The fucking hell? You have Bridgerton, which is a dumpster fire revisionist history shit show. You got Hamilton, you're swapping races left, right, and center. It's like sport to go through white roles and just eliminate the white people. Now, specifically, there is one thing.
To witness the rest of this video, sign up at censored.tv. Be sure to use the coupon code ROOM to get 20% off. Or you can head over to subscribestar.com/atheism and join up to receive every full-length new video Devon makes. It barely costs anything to sign up. You know he deserves your support, and you deserve to be entertained by every new video AIU creates. So become a flying monkey and let's go.